Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling one of the most stressful social situations out there, making an introduction.
Yeah, that initial
We
moment.
want to turn it from this awkward hurdle into a skill,
Mhm.
something you can adapt.
Yeah.
Our mission is to give you a shortcut to mastering that moment, whether you're at a networking event, a job interview, or even meeting your future in-laws.
And we're really focusing on the brutal psychological reality of that moment.
Right.
Our sources all confirm that first impressions, they aren't a marathon, they're a sprint. It takes, what, a mere 7 to 10 seconds to form a foundational judgment about someone?
7 to 10 seconds.
That's the window you have. That's it. To establish credibility, to build rapport.
That speed of judgment is just wild.
Yeah.
It means you don't have time for someone to, read your carefully curated resume. So if it's that fast, what are we actually being judged on?
Well, here's where it gets really interesting. It's not about the depth of your knowledge initially. The sources confirm that famous nonverbal breakdown. A shocking 7% of a first impression is based on the actual words you speak.
Wait, only 7%. That's brutal news for anyone who thought they could, talk their way through a first meeting.
It is. It means what you do and how you say it matters immensely more. 55% of that judgment comes purely from your body language.
55.
Your presence, your posture, how you carry yourself. The other 38%, that's your vocal tone, your pitch, your inflection.
So basically, your confidence, warmth, clarity,
Wow.
all that is doing 93% of the heavy lifting before you've even said anything substantial.
Precisely.
So if nonverbal cues are that dominant, we have to talk about the cognitive shortcuts people are taking. What are the key psychological biases we need to exploit to make sure those signals are positive?
The first one is the halo effect. This is critical. If you nail one positive trait, say, you arrive well-groomed, you make appropriate eye contact, you offer a firm, confident greeting, that single positive impression, it bleeds over. That halo can subconsciously cause the other person to assume you're also more confident, more intelligent, and more trustworthy.
That's incredibly powerful. And I imagine the reverse is true. If you stumble in sweaty and disorganized.
Exactly. A single flaw can trigger the Horns effect, the opposite. The other key bias is the primacy effect.
The first thing they hear.
The first thing they hear and see. This is why structure matters so much. The information you present first is the most likely to be remembered and weighted most heavily.
So you put your most important stuff right up front.
Your most crucial credentials, or even better, just your sheer enthusiasm for being there. Put that right up front.
This means our goal for you, the listener, isn't just to teach you what to say, but how to strategically structure your presence, your words, and your delivery. We're giving you a reliable blueprint and the crucial cultural context to optimize that critical first 7 seconds anywhere in the world.
So let's start with that blueprint. Let's make sure you have a structure that adapts, whether you're in a quick networking line or sitting down for a big meeting.
Okay, let's unpack this foundational architecture for a strong self-introduction. We've got an adaptable 8-part blueprint here that seems to work pretty much universally.
Yeah, it moves the interaction logically from, necessity to rapport. And while you can compress or expand it, the sequence is designed to maximize memory retention, thanks to that primacy effect we just talked about.
So step 1, the greeting. Simple, but you have to get it right. It sets the entire tone.
Is it a formal good morning or a more relaxed hi there? You have to match the vibe of the room.
Then step 2, name disclosure. Just say your name clearly.
Right, first and last. And if your name is often misheard, maybe slow down a little, especially if it's noisy.
Good point.
3 is location or origin. This is an easy, soft conversation starter. I'm based in Toronto, or I grew up in Portland. It gives the other person an immediate anchor point.
Which of these steps do people usually mess up or forget entirely?
I think they often forget the connection piece. So step 4 is role or occupation, your current job. And step 5 is the background highlight. This is where you build credibility fast.
Not your life story.
No, not your life story. Just 1 or 2 relevant achievements, a past role that gives context for why you're relevant to this conversation.
That distinction is so key. Step 6 then defines the relationship, purpose of the interaction. This feels crucial in business settings.
It is. If you skip this, the other person is just wondering why you approach them. You have to clarify your intention. I'm here to explore collaboration opportunities, something like that.
And step 7, the personal detail or rapport builder. This is the humanizing part.
Yes, this leverages the halo effect. People connect over shared interests, not just job titles. A quick mention of a hobby. Outside of work, I collect vintage cameras. It gives them a hook.
I like that. And finally, step 8, the closing invitation. This is so underrated. It's how you signal you're done talking and ready to listen.
You shift the conversational burden gracefully. Ask a question. So what brings you here today? Or, I noticed your badge. Which company are you with?
And this whole structure has to be flexible, right? You mentioned length control.
Absolutely. The sources stress this. For rapid networking, you compress this into a lightning-fast 30-second version. But for a formal context, like an interview, you'll need the expanded 1 to 2 minute version.
Speaking of interviews, that's the highest stakes introduction. When the interviewer says, "So tell me about yourself," the rules change a bit. You mentioned the past, present, future logic.
But that's how you tell your story in a compelling way. You start with the past, a brief overview of relevant background that led you to this room, then you move to the present, what you're currently achieving, what skills you're using.
This is where you state your value.
Exactly. I currently specialize in workflow optimization and recently led a team that cut reporting time by 15%.
And then you pivot to the future.
Exactly. You finish with where you want to go and, critically, how your ambitions align perfectly with this specific role and the company's mission. You prove you've done your research. You're not just looking for a job, you're looking for this job.
That structure is solid. But if 55% of the battle is nonverbal, those perfectly crafted words could be useless if I get the body language all wrong. Where are the biggest cross-cultural landmines?
It's a total minefield because cultural interpretation just flips and we don't even realize we're sending the wrong signal. Let's start with the most basic thing, the head nod.
The simple nod. Up and down means yes, I agree, I affirm.
It does in most places, but here is the absolute trip hazard. In Greece, Bulgaria, and Turkey, a single, quick up and down nod actually means no.
Wait, what? So if I'm in Greece and someone nods at my proposal, they're saying no. That is completely counterintuitive.
It is. You have to be incredibly mindful and, probably verify with words what they mean.
Wow. Okay, what about the handshake? The professional standard in the West.
In the US and Canada, we're taught a firm, decisive grip conveys confidence.
Right. No fish hands.
Well, you might actually need a fish hand in some parts of the world. In the Middle East, Japan, China, and the Philippines, a much weaker, softer handshake is preferred. A crushing grip, which signals strength to us, can come across as aggressive or disrespectful there.
So the key is to be mindful, not muscular.
Yeah,
In some cultures, just skip the handshake altogether.
absolutely. In Thailand, you must never shake hands. You use the way palms together with a slight bow. In India, you use the namaste. And if you're meeting a woman in Russia, remember handshakes are often reserved for men.
Let's talk about eye contact. In a Western job interview, you have to maintain strong eye contact. It signals confidence, trustworthiness.
Yes, direct, attentive eye contact is foundational for us. But in many Asian, African, and Middle Eastern cultures, extended direct eye contact can be seen as disrespectful or even confrontational.
Challenging authority.
Right. And across genders in some parts of the Middle East, it could even signal unwanted romantic interest. So you have to be ready to adjust your gaze.
And we can't forget simple hand gestures we think are universal.
They are so far from it. A simple thumbs up. That's rude or obscene in parts of Australia, Greece, and the Middle East.
No way.
And pointing with an index finger is highly offensive in China. It's for animals. And also in Colombia, you should always use an open palm.
Okay, so the nonverbal cues are massive. Let's not overlook something as simple as a smile. We think it's universally happy and friendly.
We do, but in the Far East, a smile can function very differently. It might not be about happiness at all. It can be used as a mask for deep embarrassment, confusion, or misunderstanding. The takeaway is you have to attune to the other person's cues and not just assume a smile means everything is okay. And moving beyond just physical presence, we need to address these deeper structural cultural differences. Let's start with how the world views time.
Punctuality. The foundation of modern business, right?
It is for North Americans, the Japanese and the Germans, sure. They operate in what we call a monochronic time culture. Time is linear, it's scheduled, it's strict.
Being late is a huge sign of disrespect.
It can get you disqualified from an interview in Canada, absolutely. But then you shift to the opposite end of that spectrum.
The polychronic model.
Right, where relationships trump schedules. In most Mediterranean, Arab, and South American countries, appointments are often treated more like a general guideline.
A suggestion.
A suggestion, exactly. For example, in Ghana, being 2 to 3 hours late for a meeting is totally routine. It's considered on time. That massive difference in perception will fundamentally impact your first impression.
That makes perfect sense. If you show up expecting a strict 9 a.m. start in a polychronic culture, you'll be frustrated. If you show up late in a monochronic one, you'll be seen as unprofessional.
Exactly. Your first impression is governed by your respect for their concept of time. Now, let's talk about names. This requires understanding local naming conventions, which can be wildly different.
Where do we see the biggest differences?
In many East Asian cultures, the order is flipped. In China, Japan, Korea, and Hungary, the name order is always family name, then given name. So you must use their family name, followed by a title, when being formal.
What about in the Spanish-speaking world, where people often have two surnames?
That comes from the father's first surname and the mother's second surname. Typically, you use the first one, the paternal name, when addressing someone formally. It's really important not to mix them up.
And then there's Iceland.
Icelanders use a patronymic system. Names end in son for a son or stóttir for a daughter. It's not a family name in our sense. It describes who your father is, so they're almost always called by their given name, even formally.
This brings us to gift giving, a huge rapport builder, but absolutely fraught with potential offense.
Oh, this is where cultural sensitivity is truly tested. In North America and the UK, in business, gift giving is rare. It can even be seen as a bribe.
Right.
But in a country like Japan, it's central to forming a relationship.
And there's specific rituals there.
Right. Very specific. Gifts must be presented with both hands to show respect, and they should be beautifully wrapped. Crucially, it's considered impolite to open the gift right away. You set it aside to show the relationship matters more than the object.
What about that diplomatic dance of declining a gift?
In China, etiquette dictates that you must decline a gift or an offer 2 or 3 times before you finally accept it. It shows humility. The giver is expected to persist gently.
Finally, we have to avoid religious or cultural taboos with the gift itself. It has to convey thoughtfulness, not offense.
Absolutely. Don't give anything made of leather to a Hindu or anything with pigskin or alcohol to a Muslim. And think about colors and numbers.
Right, the number 4 in China.
Exactly, because it sounds like the word for death. So black and white, or the numbers 4 and 9, are considered unlucky. You probably don't want to give a set of 4 items.
Good to know.
And in Thailand, avoid black, blue, or green wrapping paper. Those are funeral colors. The simple takeaway is, if you're unsure, stick to neutral colors and give something non-religious and universally appreciated.
Okay, we've laid out the rules for face-to-face. Now let's apply this to the highest stakes introduction of the 21st century, the digital world. Our digital footprint is often the actual first impression now.
It is the new frontier. And professionalism starts with the absolute basics in email. Your email address has to be your name. Avoid those remnants of your high school days, like baby girl at LR, a beer lover at
It
S.
just screams immaturity.
Instantly. And the tone matters just as much. Use appropriate salutations like hi or hello. Avoid hey you guys or yo in professional communication. And a simple thing, setting an auto response when you're out of office shows you're organized.
The digital world also means we're under constant scrutiny. Social media is an unavoidable first impression zone.
The data on this is stunning. A survey showed that 93% of hiring managers review a candidate's social profile before extending an offer. Your first impression happens before you even walk in the door.
So what are the biggest red flags that get people rejected?
The list is pretty much common sense, but worth repeating. Posting provocative or inappropriate photos, posting about drug or excessive alcohol use, and, a big one, bad-mouthing previous employers.
Or sharing confidential info.
Right. Discriminatory comments, even poor grammar, all of that can get you rejected immediately.
So if we survive the digital screening and get to the interview, we come back to that past, present, future structure. What's the ultimate goal in that moment?
The goal is to tell your story as a narrative of value, not just reading your resume out loud. For experienced pros, focus on achievements and quantified value. Speak in results. I led a project that resulted in a 30% increase in efficiency.
And for beginners?
For beginners, highlight enthusiasm, resourcefulness, adaptability. Show that you are eager to contribute from day one.
And how do we make sure we leave a lasting positive impression at the very end?
always end by asking insightful questions. Questions about the role, how success is measured, or about the company's future goals. It signals genuine engagement and makes you far more memorable than someone who just says, nope, no questions.
Okay, we've covered the psychology, the blueprint, the nonverbal cues, and the digital stakes. Let's bring this all together. Introductions demand structure, confidence, and above all, cultural sensitivity.
And the real power of a great introduction, it isn't about technical perfection, it's about creating a genuine connection. It means listening and adjusting your delivery, your speed, your tone, your pace to match the person you're speaking with. And remember, everyone's a little nervous, so focusing on the other person can often reduce your own anxiety.
So here's our final provocative thought for you to take away. It crystallizes how culture dictates whether you should disclose everything immediately or, hold back a bit.
Yeah.
Consider the difference between two major economies when they meet someone new.
The American model, especially in business, favors immediate and detailed disclosure. Your career, your origin, your goals. It's all about establishing goodwill quickly. It reflects that time is money philosophy. The goal is clarity and immediate rapport.
Now contrast that with the British model. It historically emphasizes privacy, reservation. They might delay exchanging names, even until the end of a social encounter. They can sometimes see that American-style disclosure as a bit brash.
So we'll leave you with this final thought to explore. Which cultural approach, immediate, detailed disclosure or delayed, reserved connection, is truly more effective for building long-term, deep trust? And how do you figure out which approach is expected in a truly global business setting?
That's something to mull over as you step into your next critical introduction. Find us next time as we continue to deep dive into the source material the world sends us.